It's 89.9 The Light. It's positive. It's uplifting. It's the Shaylee and Rob show for your drive home. Shaylee, a while back, you shared very bravely and very honestly about being a brand new mum and all the feelings you were feeling, and we didn't quite know how to talk about it.
It's true. I did not know how to talk about it.
No.
And I also didn't know if anyone really wanted to hear it, if I'm being completely honest.
That's the hard part.
Yeah.
That's the hard part. But luckily, we know someone who does know how to talk about it.
And who wants to hear it.
Yeah.
It is Louise East. Louise, welcome back to our show.
So good to be here.
Louise, give us a 30-second catch-up, okay? Matrescence. We touched on it. We did a big segment on it. It blew up. Give us a 30 seconds, if possible, snapshot of what matrescence is so we're all caught up.
Okay, so matrescence is the complete transformation and identity shift that a woman goes throughout her motherhood journey.
Amazing, amazing,
I'll
amazing.
tell you what, that was efficient.
That was way less
not
than
even
30
close
seconds.
to 30 seconds.
Yep.
Is there anything else you'd like to say in the 30 seconds? No, I'm kidding.
Say something else. It's like adolescence, so it is as profound as adolescence, but it is for mothers. So we don't go back to who we were. We're actually evolving into someone new, and lots of things feel confusing and disorienting.
All right, Louise, now obviously you know what you're talking about. You're a mum, you're a business coach, you're a motherhood identity coach, you're a speaker. You do a lot. So we have got you in today, and we're going to keep getting you in because after our initial matrescence segment, so many questions came in.
Yeah, so many questions. It's like we've opened, is it Pandora's box or the floodgates?
Can of worms.
There are lots of mothers out there and women who we're all obviously going through something and we all carry something. And sometimes you never know who to talk about it with. And Louise, that is why we have you. So we want everyone who's listening right now to get involved. If there is a question or something you have on your heart and you just don't know what to do with it, you don't know who to ask, Louise is your person. And we have a question from a listener today, Louise, that we're hoping you can help us unpack.
Great.
All right, so if you do have a question, we want you to text it in. You can remain anonymous, of course. If you want to send a voice memo, you can, 0428 899 899. Your first question is this one.
Hi, Louise. Thanks so much for doing this. My question is, I spend all day looking after everyone else, and by the time I finally get a minute to myself, I feel too exhausted to even know what I need anymore. So how can I manage that so that I don't feel that way by the end of the day?
That's a big question.
Yep.
That's a big question, but a really, really relatable question. And I think that would be something a lot of mothers would ask. The trickiness with this situation is that in modern society, we expect mothers to put everybody else's needs first. So that's what we're doing every day. We're thinking about the children, our partner, we're thinking about our work colleagues and our boss, we're thinking about friends who need help, and we're slowly depleting our energy and our focus, our attention. And by the end of the day, when we have a moment when everybody's finally in bed, we have no power left to think about ourselves or make any decisions. And so a really good way to tackle this is to start thinking about this at other times beforehand. The interesting thing is for a lot of mothers is that because of our matrescence, we're actually changing. So what you might have liked to do in that time previously may not be what you actually would enjoy or need right now in this stage of your life, because our interests change and what matters changes. So we need to reconnect with ourselves, and that can feel quite overwhelming, I think. But just starting to get curious in a very simple way. What sort of things give me energy? What am I interested in? What feels missing in my life? It can be one tiny, tiny thing. Like for me, I love to read. And if I don't get time to read, I feel really sad, actually. And the pile of books by my desk gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And that annoys me. So I know that if I have some time, I want a cup of tea and I want to grab one of those books. And even if I read 2 pages, that is better than not doing anything at all.
What sort of books do you read? Because at the moment, I'm loving the irony that I have 4 self-help books on my bedside table and I've got through none of them.
That says a lot.
Like, is it finding Is it finding growth moments, or is it finding just moments to just chill,
And relax,
unwind? Like,
yeah.
is it just relaxing? Is that sort of what we're after to try and refill?
I think it really depends on what gives you joy, right? So for me, self-development books, I love them. I just consume them in bulk. And I don't really love fiction. It doesn't give me the same feeling, but for other people, fiction is it. So it could be anything. It could be just going for a walk around the block. It could be calling your sister or your best friend. But it's just thinking ahead, what are the little things that I can do? So because at the end of the day, I don't have a lot of decision-making capability left. My brain is so tired. And so if I know what my options are, I can pick from one of those things and just test it. See if it helps. If it doesn't refresh you and energize you, then maybe try something else, because you don't need more depletion at that point.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Just one little question. Where is the line though, Louise, with like finding something that helps us but also not adding more to our plate?
Yeah, absolutely. There is no right answer on this, right? But I would say just try and maybe go for the easiest version of whatever it is. So if, for example, I love to do creative things, I love art. I am not very good at painting, and I've done watercolor workshops, but if I try and create a watercolor painting from scratch, I'm probably going to feel more stressed than accomplished and relaxed. So I have chosen to do paint by numbers, which is an incredibly satisfying and mindless task.
Yeah, that's great. That's such good advice.
That makes so much sense. My wife does paint by numbers every night on her phone.
On her phone?
On her phone. She doesn't paint, she just taps a colour and it fills in.
Tap by numbers.
She loves it, so that's what she's doing. She's unwinding, right.
Actually, can I say something on that? Because the phone is not always, and not necessarily that app, but a lot of people scroll for relaxation. They think I'll watch some reels or whatever. There's research that shows that that's actually not downtime for your brain. So just pay attention to how you feel after you do that. It may not be restorative, even if you want it to be.
Yeah, that's great advice.
Yeah, no,
really good
100%. I know we all think it is, but I think we all deep down we know it's not.
Yeah. Oh, Louise, thank you so much for joining us. That was fantastic.
79.9 The Light's positive. It is uplifting. It's the Shelley and Rob show. We're taking on Matrescence at the moment. From what I've gathered over the last few weeks, Matrescence is
got this.
The change that's happening to mums when you become a mum.
Yep.
And it's similar to adolescence.
Correct.
So we've got a lot of grace for our teens when they make mistakes. Like, you're a teenager, you're going through it. But mums are going through something very, very similar. And I feel like maybe we're a little bit behind on this one. I'm right.
You are bang on. And to help us with our matrescence journey, we are joined by I had a word in my head. Just the motherhood expert.
Yes.
Louise East. Louise, welcome back to our show.
Thank you. I love being here.
Louise, was I close?
You were pretty close. Yes,
Cool.
You're good. You know what? You made me think of something, Rob. Unlike adolescence, there's no defined end. So I don't know if that's good news or bad news for our mums, but it can go on for a very long time.
Great. Thank you so much.
It's not the best news.
Awesome.
All right, Louise, what we've been doing is, listeners, at any moment, if you have a question for Louise about matrescence, and you were like, hey, I've always wanted to talk to someone, but I've never known who to talk to. I haven't had the courage to maybe chat to my friends about it.
Yeah.
Send us the question and you can ask it to Louise.
No question is too big or too small. I will definitely say that.
So you can send in a voice memo to 0428 899 899, or if you want to remain completely anonymous, you can text us 0428 899 899. The question, we will read it out for you.
Yeah.
Now, Louise, today the challenge for you is we have a voice memo question. Are you ready for today's question?
I'm ready.
Here we go.
Hi, my name is Rosanna, and I guess my question has two levels. The first one is around the guilt of just leaving my little one into care when really all I want to do is to be with them, but I know I can't. And the second level is around the guilt that you get from your other friends who perhaps are in a better position, and they are stay-at-home mums, and I guess the guilt that you feel and the worry that you're perceived as an uncaring mum. Thank you.
Wow, that's huge. Just quickly, Louise, in this particular season, I can relate to this so much, like heading back to work. And my son is now at the age where he's extremely aware that I'm leaving. So every time I leave the house, he is not happy. And we're so lucky because we do have family who are looking after him. But it is that tension. And then if anything happens at work, it doesn't even matter how small. I'm like, nah, that's it. Not worth it. I'm done. I'm out. I want to be home with Banks. You know what I mean? Like, it is so hard. And the guilt just doesn't seem to end.
Well, what you've just described is so common. I have this conversation with women all the time. And the fact that things happening at work feel not so, feel big for you, they make you feel like you don't want to be here anymore. That's also matrescence, right? Because our perceptions around what is important and what we will tolerate change as we go through our matrescence. And we definitely look at our paid work very differently. Guilt is huge in motherhood. In fact, it feels like it comes with motherhood. It's part and parcel. You just get it like steak knives on the side. It's the most common finding in all the motherhood research. So if you're feeling guilty, know that you are definitely not alone. In fact, I think it would be harder if you didn't feel guilty to find people who could relate. So what do we do about this? There's a couple of things here. Firstly, we all have to make decisions that are right for us. The idea of a good mother in our society is that we are the primary carers 24/7 for our children. Now, that doesn't mean that's the right thing or the best thing or the only way. It's just the idea that is most accepted in our society. So that already presents a problem because for many of us, we have to work. For many women, it isn't a choice. We need to work to provide for our families. Many families are dual income, and that is required. So in that case, we can't just be clinging to this ideal, even subconsciously. We need to be thinking about what is actually needed in my life and what is the best decision for my family, given all the circumstances. What's right for my family might be different, might not be the same as what's right for another family. So we've just firstly got to ground ourselves in, am I making the right decision for my family? Okay. And that can still be difficult to come to. But that's the first thing. Am I doing what's right for me? The second thing is we've got to stop comparing ourselves to other mums. And I know that's much more easily said than done, but this is where a lot of our angst comes from. If people are making comments, that makes it even harder. The judgment comes from that same ideal that we think that mothers should be the primary carer for their children. And there's this contradiction where we're expected to have a career. That's also part of being a successful modern woman and mother. Have a career, but never let it interfere with your mothering. Never prioritize your career over your children. It's very practically difficult, almost a lose-lose situation, really.
When Rosanna asked her question and she was talking about guilt, and you just touched on it there, is Rosanna feeling guilt because she's not at home like her friends are? Or, and it could be both, I guess, is she feeling guilt as well because her friends are inadvertently saying things, whether they're meaning it or not, to make her feel more guilty? Or is it coming from both sides?
It could be coming from both sides. I mean, we'd have to ask Rosanna, but it does. It happens for women in both those ways. That's where guilt comes from. But guilt is the feeling we get when we think we've done something wrong or we're not reaching the standard that we set for ourselves. Sometimes that's useful and fine because it's a normal human emotion because it's calling us back into alignment with our values, right? But sometimes we are taking on standards that aren't really right for us and then feeling guilty for not meeting up to them. So it's that thinking I have to be the primary carer 24/7, but realistically that's not possible in my life. But because I feel like I have to, I still feel guilty.
You're a mum and you've felt it. I'm guessing it's a universal part of being a mum. There is going to be elements where you feel guilt. You know what you're doing with this stuff and you know everything about it. How do you tackle that?
Yeah.
The first thing I do when I feel guilty is trying to identify what is the standard that I'm trying to hold myself to. And then I will ask myself, is that a real thing? Like, does that matter to me? Where did it come from? Is it someone has said to me? Is it something that I've seen on Instagram? Is it something that I've read in a book? And then how do I rate that source? Should I be following that for my life? And the other component is just to give myself lots of self-compassion, because if I do believe in that standard and I still can't live up to it, then that's a tough situation. Then I have to think about, are there any adjustments that I can make? But if I don't agree with that standard and I think, oh, I'm holding myself to this thing that's not even realistic, or I don't even like it, then I can choose my own standard. And I do that a lot in my life. What is my standard? And then I'm very compassionate towards myself for feeling that way.
Yeah.
How do you think you've gone with that standard? Because you said when our first chat about matrescence, if you didn't have to come back to work, you wouldn't.
Correct.
And I totally understand that, because my wife is exactly the same.
Yep.
But you said it's dual income households. That's the world we're living in for the vast majority of us. How are you feeling about it?
Well, I think I'm just trying to reconcile that. And the thing is, don't get me wrong, I love my job. Like, I really do love being here. And when I'm here, I have so much fun. But it just wasn't an option for me to be home. So if it's not an option, like, yes, I feel guilty, but I'm also like, but I don't have another option.
I can't beat myself up for this because I don't have a choice.
I have to go to work.
Yeah, right.
Like, we're not in the position where I got to choose.
I think sometimes guilt is a result of tension or tricky situations where there is no great option. And so we feel guilty because we don't like the outcome. Can't always be 100% avoided in life. But maybe there might also be other emotional words we can use to describe what we're feeling. Like, there might be grief over the time that we're missing with our child, or there might be sadness that you can't be with them when you want to be with them. And there's a big focus on guilt, and 100% that is a real experience. But let's just try and be a little bit more curious around how we're feeling and see if there's anything else as well.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. Just reframing it. Just that little bit.
What's under the surface of guilt?
Yeah. That's so good, Louise.
Very
my
good,
gosh.
Louise.
Wow.
Gee, you do know what you're talking about.
She is the expert.
You're on fire.
She is the expert on all things motherhood.
Louise, thank you so much.
You, Louise.
We will be, I'm certain, talking to you next week with a brand new question.
Yep.
Thank you.